The Duros species was one of the very first alien races of Star Wars, introduced all the way back in A New Hope when two Duros were seen at the Mos Eisley Cantina. They have featured in many stories since then in mostly supporting roles, however some Duros have taken a more leading role, such as the infamous bounty hunter Cad Bane. A stereotypical-looking sci-fi alien, the Duros is a humanoid species native to the planet Duro. Duro is a densely polluted and mostly depopulated planet located on the Carillion trade spine, making it easily accessible to other major commercial centers, as the trade spine was a commonly used hyperspace route. This humanoid species was roughly about the same height as Wookiees, and they had smooth skin that ranges from blues and greens to grays as well. They have large red eyes beneath which lie their olfactory organs, which give them their sense of smell. Because they smell through their eyes, there is no physical nose on their face, giving them a unique physical look among many humanoid species. If you've watched the Star Wars Clone Wars animated series or the Book of Boba Fett, you may have encountered a certain bounty hunter of the Duro species, Cad Bane. Bane was an unusual Duro with his more violent profession as a bounty hunter, as most Duros preferred more reputable lines of work. However, some did venture towards the underworld professions. It is also said that Duros have a photographic memory, being able to remember even the most minute details. As one of the first cultures to develop hyperdrive technology, many Duros were pilots and explorers even in later periods of galactic history. It is said that they have a love for flight and exploration, and regardless of what they do in their day-to-day life, they still prefer the title of traveler. They use trade routes that were made by their ancient ancestors, and one of the few cultures still using ancient space routes for trade during the reign of the Empire. The Duros' homeworld of Duro is extremely polluted and mostly devoid of civilization. The planet's surface that isn't too polluted is covered in automated farms for food production. The bulk of the Duros' population live in 20 orbiting cities above the planet, along with a large number of orbital shipyards. The Duros were able to establish a starship industry that rivaled the one in the Carillion system, but this led to large corporations controlling most of the wealth on the planet. By the time of the Galactic Empire, a few large Duros companies controlled most of the government and would have laws written that only helped to further their profits. It is also important to note that the Nemoidian species came from the Duros. As one of the first civilizations to master space travel, the Duros founded and colonized the planet Nemoidia. The resulting colony eventually evolved in response to the different environment, creating a similar but distinct Nemoidian species. They retained many of the same physical traits such as the noseless faces and green-blue skin, but Nemoidian culture branched away from Duros and became a much more business-focused race. The Duro grew to resent their distant cousins over time, so much so that confusing a Duro as a Nemoidian was considered one of the worst insults you could give a Duro. Duros were completely bald regardless of gender, but even with the similarities between them, it is said that you could easily tell the difference between the two. The female Duros laid eggs and their young were born in a larval state. The Duros, unlike the Nemoidians, actually cared for their young. The Rakata Empire, one of the very first spacefaring empires predating the Galactic Republic, conquered the planet of Duro and made the Duro, as well as many other species, their underlings. While not specifically stated, it is believed that once the Rakata Empire was wiped out by a plague that only affected their species, the Duros reverse-engineered their technology and used it to become a hyperspace-traveling civilization themselves, something they had not been able to do up until that point. Aside from humans, Duros make up one of the largest alien races in the known Star Wars universe and can be seen throughout Star Wars in roles such as politicians, rebel freedom fighters, and even a famous bounty hunter. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to subscribe for future videos.